What's up, everybody? Your boy Mel here for our classic review, and today, well, since last week we did reviews on a couple of the Goosebumps episodes that I did, from The Haunted Mask to Night of the Living Dummy, it's about time we do reviews on some of the episodes from Are You Afraid of the Dark? I'm talking about the classic series. But before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, by the acceptance of the Midnight Society, let's commence this review, shall we? So yeah. So the episode I'm going to choose, by the order of the Midnight Society, The Tale of the Prom Queen, which was aired on November 27th of 1992. It was from Season 1. It was the 12th episode, of course. It was between the episodes Tale of the Dark Music and Tale of the Pinball Wizard. Which, actually, this actually has some base for this episode. It's actually based on the famous story of Resurrection Mary. If my fans from US knows who I'm talking about, oh boy, you know we're on the same page here about Resurrection Mary. If you've seen the old episodes from Unsolved Mysteries, I meant the classic ones with Robert Stack, you know what I'm talking about. But back to topic. So, let's begin the review, shall we? So, we meet the members of the Midnight Society. David, Gary, Kiki, Betty, Ann, Eric, and Frank. Waiting for Christine. Ooh, she's actually dressed in a white gown, wearing a veil to look like a mysterious ghostly figure, without them knowing. She's walking around the woods wearing that. Soon as she appears, all six of them get scared the crap, huddle together, and ask who it is in a haunted voice. I'm here to tell you a story, which actually is Christine tells them to gather around because she has a story to tell them. And by the acceptance of the Midnight Society, the tale of the Prom Queen. Soon, she tells a story which takes place in the graveyard. We meet Dee Dee walking around the cemetery after placing a flower in a certain grave. That's why she hears strange noises until she gets jump scared by Jam and Greg. Soon, she asks him, "Oh, do you always scare people in graveyards?" Which, of course, Jam, who is the cocky asshole, prankster, and Greg, who's more of the gentleman, unlike his cuckoo friend. That's when Jam explains, "You shouldn't be scared because tonight's prom night, the night of the prom queen." Let's catch her attention saying, "The prom queen?" That's when, I don't know who told the story. I think it was Jam or Greg to explain the story of the prom queen. I think, whatever they told, I'll tell it. Story begins where we meet a young girl waiting for her date for the prom. She's just waiting in front of the gates of the cemetery until she got killed in a hit-and-run accident and the driver sped off, leaving her for dead. She was later buried in her prom dress in the same cemetery, and every night during prom night, the prom queen shows up, waiting at the gates for the ride that never showed up to pick her up. Of course, Dee Dee feels sorry for her, but they should do something. Of course, they have an idea to find out who she is, the prom queen, and maybe they can help her in peace. Excuse me. Soon, the three walk out of the cemetery, head for the library. While doing a little investigation, they did find an article from May of 1956 that a young woman named Judy Larson was killed in a hit and run in May of 1956 during her prom night. Which, of course, the story was true. Not just that, her boyfriend, Ricky Mitchell, they knew where she to pick up. And when he heard about the news of her death, he was devastated and drove himself off the bridge where he drowned. And his body or the car never been recovered. Of course, while they're talking about that, they hear some strange noises until they get a jump scare by the librarian offered him some tea. Like, "Would you like some tea?" Which, of course, is actually a very funny prank. Sorry. Imagine you're just doing information, trying to find out about a ghost, and you get jump scared by the librarian. Just offer you if you want some tea from the trolley. But yeah. while they're eating ice cream in front of I don't know what it's called. This is a food truck, but it's actually an ice cream truck. They talk about they should do a seance to bring back. They contact Ricky to tell him where to get to pick up Judy, because hey, he didn't know where she to pick up. So, they went to the place where he died, which is in I think it was a river or a lake, under the bridge where he drove up his car. Soon, later that night, they got a boat, and I think Jam turned the boat on, started the motor, and they slowly go under the bridge where Judy commenced the seance to tell Rick that Judy is still waiting for him in the front of the gate of the cemetery, waiting for him to pick her up. Soon after that, strange bubble gurgles start to arise from the water, which freaks him out. Jan tries to start the boat. It didn't work, so he grabs some paddles, oars, and starts rowing the boat quickly as he can. As he starts rowing, the gurgling bubbles start to follow, like it was a car motor starting from the exhaust pipe starting to go forward. As they arrive land, the mysterious gurgling stopped right there in the spot. Soon they ask the question, did he get the message? The only way to find out is by next day tonight. Of course, the next day, they're in the cemetery and they find Judy's grave. Soon, they're about to wait if he shows up, waiting for the prom queen. As they do, that's when they notice a mysterious figure walking by, all in white, and hear a strange sound of chimes passing by. Soon Greg took up the courage and followed the strange figure. As he looked closely and closely, the figure turns around and says, "Boo!" And it turns out to be somebody, a young man in a dress. When Greg says, "Wait, who are you?" That's when Jam appears and saying, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, hold it, guys. This is my cousin. I just made this awesome prank." Of course, Greg just wants to punch him for the stupid prank. That's when, meanwhile, while they were fighting, that's when they noticed headlights from the distance. That's when Dee said there were headlights from the distance. That's when they forget it could be the graveyard keeper. That's when they look closely. It was a 50s Chevrolet Bel Air. And that's when they notice the driver is Ricky in his prom suit. But, well, the other three are freaked out. Dee Dee wasn't. Like, everything's going to be okay. Jam, Greg, and Chuck can't make heads or tails. Why Dee's not freaked out. That's when they hear that's when she starts singing the song "In the Still of the Night" by Fred Paris and the Five Satans, which I rented a song. It's actually one of my favorites when I go driving at night. Damn, why didn't they play this when I was at prom? It's like a catchy song, perfect for a slow dance. Agree? Agree? Okay, just comment down below if you agree this song should be for a slow dance for prom, because hey, come on. If you have a special someone, you want to have the night of your life, the night to remember, that's the one you should put on display in the prom. I wish I could turn back time when I was at prom back in 2015, but well, most of your proms will be in gyms. My prom was actually a fancy hotel in San Juan, the ballroom. It was actually a perfect setting, except they put shit music. It was like they made it more like a carnival fiasco. Damn. I wish I could just graduate, go to prom in the U.S. That'll be a good dream. Boy, if we could turn back time, but yeah, keep moving forward. But back to the review. She starts singing the song, "In the still of the night, how I hold you oh so tight, 'cause I love you so." Damn, that song hits me right there, you guys. Come on. If you have that someone you love, you want to dance that song to that. Which, back to the review, Judy starts to untie her hair, let it flow. That's when Greg tells Judy. That's when all of a sudden, bibbidi bobbidi boop. Suddenly, she's not wearing a prom dress, and turns out that's when she reveals that Dee Dee is actually her nickname. Her real name is Judy. And the reason why she thanked them because she couldn't leave the cemetery unless somebody brings her with them. So, and they thanks her explain why Rick didn't find her where she is. So, because of them, of course, all three were struck surprised. Judy goes in the car with Rick. Well, Rick just looking. Soon she tells him, "My ride just here. I gotta go now." Soon Rick looks at them, nods, and gives them a thumbs up for helping him. And they slowly the car goes. Judy lays her head on Rick's shoulder. That's when Dream starts to wave. I think it's just Jam and his cousin waving. Well, Greg just, I don't know. Right there, and slowly the car still plays the song. In the still of the night. As the car vanishes from the gate. And that, my friends, was the tale of the Prom Queen. And to tell you the truth, I like this episode because it's actually taking basis, well, loosely based on the famed story of of Resurrection Mary, which is actually happened. If you don't know the story of Resurrection Mary, she was a young woman. Well, there's two of her. You got, I can't remember the one. It's the one in New York. Similar to this one, that she was going to a dance in high school. A couple guys found a young, beautiful woman. They go, which, of course, one of them danced with her on their prom night. Soon, they arrive. They left her on the middle of the road where she lived. Of course, he left her his jacket. That's when they trying to find where she is, until the old lady told that was her daughter, that she died on prom night when a truck hit her on the bridge. And you say, "You didn't believe me? Go to the cemetery, you find her grave." When they arrived at the grave, they found her grave with his coat on the grave. Yeah. Well, Resurrection Mary, she was a victim of hit and run, and she only wanders outside the gates, and she cannot go beyond it. As in, if you pick her up, when you pass the cemetery, she disappears. Even people in Chicago and all of Illinois know the story. Even here in Owena, there is one too. I already told you this one back last October. Of someone I knew, my mom used to work back in the hospital, was an ambulance driver. The same thing. But yeah, let me know what you think of The Tale of the Prom Queen. Did you like this episode? Have you seen it when it first aired or the reruns? Because this is actually one of my favorites because, first of all, it's like a tale, like famous folk legend of tragedy and helping somebody from beyond the grave. Plus some catchy classic music in the ending that will actually make you tear up. But yeah, let me know what you think of the episode, and if you're new to the channel, give a like to this video. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll miss any of our great content. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.